Infidelity, a road to recovery for couples. Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to explore a sensitive and important topic in human sexuality counseling: infidelity and the road to recovery for couples. Infidelity can devastate relationships, but with the right tools and support, couples can navigate this challenging terrain and emerge stronger. Understanding infidelity. Infidelity isn't just about physical betrayal. It encompasses emotional betrayal as well. It can occur in various forms: one partner engaging in a sexual relationship outside the marriage, forming an emotional connection with someone else, or even virtual infidelity through online relationships. Understanding the root causes of infidelity, be it unmet needs, lack of communication, or unresolved conflicts, is essential in addressing the issue. This is Kelly O'Horo, LPC. She's an attachment-based EMDR therapist, and she does a really good job of explaining the why of infidelity here on her channel, Adaptable. Let's give it a listen.
Here are some common reasons why people might be unfaithful, and this can be helpful for someone who has been unfaithful as well as for the person who experienced the betrayal. So the first that might be hard to hear is a lack of love. Sometimes people feel a lack of emotional connection or love or intimacy in their primary relationship. They've lost connection, their lives have gotten so busy, the stressors that are outside of the marriage become insurmountable, and they don't feel that they're in connection with their partner, and they don't feel like they're moving through life and the hard things in life with their partner. So let me give you an example of a client. Let's call her Sarah. She feels emotionally neglected by her husband, who is really often preoccupied with work. She felt like she was an item on his checklist, and so she begins seeking some emotional fulfillment through an affair with a coworker who gave her the attention that she was so longing for and craved. And so when you think about this, it starts out with a deficit in her own experience in her marriage. Now, I'm not saying that this is an excuse. Of course, we need to know we're having that issue, and we need to address it with our partner, with a therapist, because otherwise we create potential damage in our marriage or in our relationship by finding that connection and attention outward. Another reason that some people have an affair is because of their desire for variety. Oftentimes, boredom or desire for a new experience can lead to infidelity. So again, these are not good excuses. These are just potential reasons that start someone on this path. So let me talk about another client. Let's call him John. He admits that he cheated because he felt his marriage had become monotonous, boring, there was never anything new, and the excitement of the new relationship made him feel alive again. Well, this doesn't have to be the solution, because if you're noticing this feeling of monotony or boredom, we want to encourage you to go to your partner and say, we need to find some ways to spice this up. And there's so many tools and tricks and books and things that you can find to create more spice and intention to liven up the experience of intimacy in your marriage.
So interesting, this psychological scale of infidelity severity is pretty fascinating. We have here an accidental, single, unplanned act is considered accidental. And then it kind of goes up in severity. The next one, opportunistic. The next one, emotional. The next one is situational. This one's kind of like it happens during a stressful time in the relationship. This compartmentalized, chronic, and then all the way up to serial, which is just compulsive in its nature. This person repeatedly seeking new partners. So that's kind of interesting. Um, the impact on couples. So, the effects of infidelity can lead to a breakdown in trust, increased anxiety, and emotional pain for both partners. Can you think of other issues or impacts that infidelity might cause? I wrote down here a breakdown of trust is an impact, a increased anxiety for both partners, and definitely emotional pain. What do you think? Healing is possible. So, the good news is healing and recovery are possible. It requires willingness, honesty, and a commitment from both individuals. So, the recovery process usually involves several key steps. The first one being open communication. That means that both partners must be willing to talk about the infidelity openly and honestly without fear of judgment. This is the time to express feelings and thoughts and establish mutual understanding. Number two, seeking counseling. So, a professional can help provide couples with tools and strategies to help rebuild their relationship. Counseling offers that safe space to explore the underlying issues that might have contributed to the infidelity. Number three, rebuilding trust. So, trust takes time to rebuild. And this might involve setting new boundaries and expectations in the relationship moving forward. And transparency and accountability are huge pieces of those things there. Let's see. Forgiveness. The healing process often requires forgiveness, not just from the betrayed partner, but also from the betrayer. Forgiveness can pave the way to healing, but it's a personal journey that takes time. Number five, strengthening the relationship. So, couples should really focus on rekindling their connection by spending quality time together, exploring new interests, improving communication. So, to deepen our understanding of this topic, let's do some reflective journaling. This activity can provide, I will provide you with some prompts to consider how infidelity affects relationships and what steps could be taken to foster healing. So, first, why don't you find a comfortable space and just spend a few moments in silence to gather your thoughts. Okay, the first question: what emotions do you associate with infidelity, whether personal or observed in others? In your opinion, what are the most significant factors that contribute to infidelity? What aspects of the recovery process seem most challenging for couples? And finally, how might personal experiences influence a counselor's approach to guiding clients through recovery? So take 5 to 10 minutes and jot down your reflections and just be as honest and open as you can. And then after journaling, we'll have a brief discussion where anyone who feels comfortable and compelled can share their insights. Also, there's a lot of research I've discovered, and recent research on infidelity provides us valuable insights into its prevalence, its causes, and its effects on relationships. Some interesting data that I uncovered was number one, in the prevalence of with the prevalence of infidelity. According to a study, they say that 20% of men and 13% of women in 2020 reported having cheated on their partner. This study found that these infidelity rates among the younger generations, so people aged 18 to 29, appear to be lower than older folks, suggesting that there are potential shifts in relationship dynamics and values. Number 2, in 2021, a study categorized infidelity into emotional, sexual, and online forms. And they found that emotional infidelity is often more distressing for partners than that sexual infidelity. So this really highlights the importance of understanding the various dimensions of betrayal that can happen in relationships. Number 3, a review published in 2022 identified several psychological and relational factors contributing to infidelity, including dissatisfaction in the relationship, personality traits like low conscientiousness and impulsivity. And these factors can act as triggers for individuals considering infidelity. Number 4, this research in couples therapy indicated that emotional and relational recovery from infidelity can depend significantly on the couple's existing relationship satisfaction prior to the act. So that means that couples who have stronger communication skills and a foundation of mutual respect, they are more likely to recover successfully than those without these traits. Forgiveness and recovery. In a 2022 study, they looked at forgiveness and the role of forgiveness in recovery from infidelity. And it showed that when both partners are willing to engage in that forgiveness process, it improves the likelihood of rebuilding trust and satisfaction in their relationship. And finally, the final interesting tidbit talks about that couples who participated in guided therapy sessions focused on infidelity had significant relationship improvement quality and compared to those who did not seek professional help. That makes great sense. So, infidelity can be a painful experience, but it also provides a unique opportunity for growth and a deeper understanding within a relationship. By approaching it with honesty, a willingness to change, and professional guidance, couples can navigate the path to recovery. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to hearing your reflections. And here we have some references from the Archives of Sexual Behavior, the Journal of Sex Research, the Journal of Marriage and Family, Couples Therapy. Yeah, here we go. Thank you for your time.